Have you ever woken up feeling like the weight of the world is pressing down on you? Are there mornings when the struggles you face seem greater than the strength you have? Let me tell you, the key to victory in your day starts with the first moments after you open your eyes. Psalm 34 is not just a psalm, it's a battle cry for your spirit. A declaration that God is with you in every moment, no matter how difficult your circumstances may seem. This morning prayer is designed to shift your heart, to bring you into alignment with God's power, and to remind you that the Lord is close to the brokenhearted. Stay with me and together we'll unlock the truth of Psalm 34 that will transform how you start your day. When David wrote Psalm 34, he was not sitting in a palace with all of life's comforts. He was in hiding, pursued by King Saul, fleeing from a dangerous situation. Yet, in the midst of his trials, he penned one of the most powerful declarations of trust and praise to God. You see, it's not the situation that dictates the power of your praise. It's the position of your heart. When you wake up in the morning and choose to declare Psalm 34 over your life, you're not just speaking empty words, you're making a declaration in the spirit realm. You are saying that no matter what comes, your trust is in the Lord. You are affirming that even in the darkest moments, you will praise Him. David begins this psalm with a powerful statement, I will bless the Lord at all times, His praise shall continually be in my mouth. Let that sink in for a moment. At all times, not just in the good moments. Not just when the sun is shining and life is going your way. But in every season, every circumstance, every trial, you will bless the Lord. This is not passive faith, this is active, dynamic faith. When you wake up in the morning and choose to speak these words, you are setting the tone for your day. You are deciding that no matter what challenges come, you will face them with praise. This is the heart of a morning prayer rooted in Psalm 34. You see, the enemy wants to steal your peace from the very first moment you wake up. He knows that if he can disrupt your mind and fill you with anxiety, fear, or doubt before you even get out of bed, he has already won a small victory. But when you start your day by declaring, I will bless the Lord at all times, you are stepping into the presence of God before anything else has a chance to enter your mind. You are aligning yourself with the truth that God is greater than any obstacle you will face. David goes on to say, my soul shall make its boast in the Lord, the humble shall hear of it and be glad now. What does it mean to boast in the Lord? When we boast, we are proclaiming something proudly, confidently. So when your soul boasts in the Lord, you are boldly declaring that He is your strength, your provider, your protector. It's a declaration that says, I don't have to rely on my own abilities today because my confidence is in the Lord. Imagine waking up each morning and before anything else you boast in the Lord, you proclaim that your strength is not your own but is rooted in the power of Almighty God. This kind of morning prayer transforms not only your attitude but your entire outlook on the day ahead. Now David says, the humble shall hear of it and be glad. Why? Because when we humble ourselves before God, we acknowledge that we can't do this life on our own. And that humility allows us to experience the gladness, the joy that comes from knowing God is in control. The world teaches us to be self-reliant, to believe that we are in control of our own destiny. But David understood that the real key to success, to peace, to joy is found in boasting in the Lord, not in ourselves. When you start your morning with this kind of prayer, you are humbling yourself before God, inviting His presence, His strength, and His direction to guide you throughout the day. David then calls others to join him in this declaration. Oh, magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt His name together. This is a call to community. You see, praise is not meant to be a solo act. It's meant to be shared, to be multiplied. When you start your day with a prayer of praise, it's not just for your benefit, it's an invitation for others to join in that praise. When your spirit is lifted, when you choose to magnify the Lord, those around you can't help but be affected. Your joy, your peace, your confidence becomes contagious. It draws others in, and together you create an atmosphere where God's presence can move mightily. Let's not miss the power of that word. Magnify. To magnify something means to make it larger in your perspective. Now, God is already great. He is already all-powerful. But when we magnify Him in our hearts, We are choosing to focus on His greatness rather than on the problems we face. In the morning, when you wake up, you have a choice. You can magnify your worries, your fears, your stresses, or you can magnify the Lord. When you choose to start your day by magnifying the Lord, you are making a conscious decision to focus on His power, His love, His ability to carry you through whatever comes. David continues by saying, I sought the Lord and He heard me and delivered me from all my fears. There's something powerful about seeking God first thing in the morning. Before the chaos of the day begins, before the emails, the phone calls, the meetings, and the demands of life start to pile up, when you seek God in those quiet, early moments, you are setting the foundation for the rest of your day. You are saying, Lord, I need you before I need anything else. And what does David say happens when we seek the Lord? He hears us. Let that settle in your spirit. The God of the universe, the creator of heaven and earth, hears you when you seek Him. And not only does He hear you, but He delivers you from all your fears. Every fear that tries to grip you when you wake up in the morning, whether it's fear about your finances, your health, your family, or your future, God promises to deliver you. But that deliverance comes when you seek Him. It comes when you turn your focus away from the fears and toward the one who holds your life in His hands. Psalm 34 is a psalm of deliverance, of trust, of absolute confidence in God's goodness. David says they looked to Him and were radiant, and their faces were not ashamed. When you start your day by looking to God, something changes in you. There is a radiance, a light that comes from being in His presence. That radiance is not something you can manufacture on your own. It's the glory of God shining through you. And David promises that those who look to God will not be ashamed. In other words, when you trust God with your day, with your life, He will never fail you. Think about that for a moment. In the world, people are constantly let down. They put their trust in things that fail them: money, relationships, careers, even their own abilities. But when you put your trust in God, He will never let you down. He will never fail you. He will never leave you ashamed. This is why starting your day with Psalm 34 is so powerful. It reminds you that no matter what the world may throw at you, your God is faithful. He is your deliverer, your protector, and He will not allow you to be put to shame. David goes on to say, this poor man cried out, and the Lord heard him and saved him out of all his troubles. Now, you might wake up in the morning feeling like you're in the middle of trouble. You might feel overwhelmed by the challenges you're facing. But here's the good news: God hears the cries of His people. David didn't say that God heard him and left him in his trouble. No, God saved him out of all his troubles. The beauty of Psalm 34 lies in this simple truth: when you cry out to God, He listens. He's not a distant, uninvolved deity who turns a blind eye to your pain. He's a loving Father ready to reach down into the middle of your troubles and pull you out. Every morning when you wake up and cry out to God, He hears you. Your words don't fall on deaf ears. Your prayers don't vanish into the air. The Lord, in His infinite mercy and love, inclines His ear toward you. This is the assurance that David lived by, and it's the same assurance you and I can live by today. Whether it's a quiet, desperate whisper or a loud cry of frustration, God is ready to respond. David further emphasizes this by describing the presence of the Lord. He says, the angel of the Lord encamps all around those who fear Him and delivers them. I want you to picture that. Right now, in this very moment, there are angels surrounding you, encamping around you, guarding you, watching over you. This isn't a fantasy or a nice idea. It's a spiritual reality. God has stationed His heavenly army around those who fear Him, and that means you are never alone. As you go about your day, whether you're walking into a difficult meeting, facing a health challenge, or dealing with uncertainty in your relationships, you can rest in the knowledge that God's angels are with you. Now, David speaks of those who fear the Lord, and this fear isn't the kind of fear that makes you run and hide. It's a reverent, awe-filled fear. It's the recognition that God is holy, that He is sovereign, and that your life is in His hands. When you approach your day with this kind of fear, a deep respect for who God is and what He's capable of, His protection surrounds you. There is deliverance in the fear of the Lord. Every day you walk into situations that are beyond your control, but when you fear the Lord, you're never out of His reach. His angels are encamped around you, and He is always ready to deliver you. David doesn't stop there. He invites us to taste and see that the Lord is good. This is not a passive invitation. It's an active call to experience God for yourself. You see, it's one thing to hear about God's goodness. It's another thing entirely to taste and see it for yourself. And the best time to do that is in the morning, when your mind is clear and your heart is open. When you wake up and declare Psalm 34, you are inviting yourself to experience the goodness of God in a tangible way. You're not just speaking words, you're inviting the presence of the living God into your day. Taste and see that the Lord is good is a bold declaration. It's a challenge to step out in faith and experience the reality of God's love, provision, and protection. When you take this step, when you make this your morning prayer, you are allowing yourself to see God move in ways you've never imagined. His goodness is not just a theological concept, it's real. And it's something you can experience every day of your life. But you must taste it, you must take that first step in faith and trust that God will show up in your life just as He promised. David continues by declaring, "Blessed is the man who trusts in Him." Trusting in God is the key to unlocking His blessings in your life. But trust is not always easy. In fact, it's one of the most challenging things to do, especially when everything around you seems uncertain. When your bank account is running low, when your health is in jeopardy, when your relationships are strained, it's in those moments that trust becomes a real act of faith. Yet David assures us that the man or woman who trusts in God is blessed. This blessing isn't just about material wealth or success, it's about peace, joy, and security that go beyond circumstances. It's the kind of blessing that can't be shaken by the ups and downs of life. Every morning when you wake up and choose to trust in God, you are positioning yourself for His blessings. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. Trust requires surrender, and surrender is the key to peace. When you wake up and say, "God, I don't have all the answers, but I trust you," you are laying down your worries and allowing God to take control. And it's in that moment of surrender that His blessings begin to flow into your life. It's in that place of trust that you find true peace, the kind of peace that can carry you through whatever the day may bring. David reminds us of the importance of fearing the Lord by saying, "Oh, fear the Lord, you His saints." There is no want to those who fear Him. This is a promise of provision. When you fear the Lord, when you honor Him, when you put Him first in your life, He promises that there will be no lack in your life. This doesn't mean that you will never face challenges or hardships, but it does mean that God will provide everything you need. Every morning when you come before God in prayer, you are acknowledging that He is your provider. You are reminding yourself that no matter what happens, God will take care of you. David goes on to say, "The young lions lack and suffer hunger, but those who seek the Lord shall not lack any good thing." Even the strongest, most capable creatures in the world, the young lions, experience lack. But those who seek the Lord are promised that they will not lack any good thing. Seeking the Lord is more than just a one-time act. It's a daily posture of your heart. When you wake up in the morning and seek God before anything else, you are aligning yourself with His provision. You are positioning yourself to receive the good things He has for you. There's a reason David emphasizes seeking the Lord. Seeking requires intention. It requires effort. It means setting aside time to come before God, to listen to His voice, and to allow Him to guide your day. When you seek God first thing in the morning, you are setting the foundation for everything else that follows. You are ensuring that your day is built on the solid rock of His Word, not on the shifting sands of your own strength or understanding. David then calls us to listen, saying, "Come, you children, listen to me. I will teach you the fear of the Lord." This is a call to wisdom. It's a reminder that every morning we have the opportunity to learn from God, to sit at His feet and receive instruction for our lives. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and that wisdom is available to you every day. When you wake up and open your heart to God's voice, you are positioning yourself to walk in His wisdom. You are allowing Him to guide your steps, to lead you in paths of righteousness, and to protect you from the pitfalls of life. David asks a simple yet profound question: who is the man who desires life and loves many days that he may see good? Isn't that what we all want? To live a life that is full, abundant, and blessed. To see many good days? David is offering us the key to that kind of life. And it's found in the fear of the Lord. It's found in trusting Him, seeking Him, and allowing Him to guide your life. When you make Psalm 34 your morning prayer, you are setting yourself up to experience the fullness of life that God has for you. David gives us practical advice on how to live this kind of life. Keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking deceit. Depart from evil and do good, seek peace and pursue it. These are not just rules or guidelines, they are the blueprint for a life that is pleasing to God. And it starts with the words you speak. Every morning as you begin your day, you have a choice in how you will use your words. Will you speak life or death? Will you bless or curse? Will you bring peace or stir up strife? David encourages us to use our words wisely, to speak truth, to pursue peace. When you make this your focus each morning, you are choosing to live in a way that honors God. The pursuit of peace is not passive, it's active. It requires effort, intentionality, and sometimes sacrifice. But it's worth it. Peace is one of the greatest blessings God can give you, and when you seek it and pursue it, you are walking in alignment with His will for your life. Every morning as you pray and meditate on Psalm 34, you are equipping yourself to be a peacemaker in your home, your workplace, and your community. David goes on to remind us of God's attentiveness to His people. The eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and His ears are open to their cry. This is a powerful truth to hold on to every morning. God's eyes are on you. His ears are open to your prayers. He is not distant or disengaged. He is fully present, fully aware of everything you're going through. When you wake up and cry out to Him, you can rest assured that He hears you. His attention is on you, not because of anything you've done, but because of His love for you. You are the object of His affection, and He delights in hearing your voice. But David also warns us about the consequences of living in opposition to God. The face of the Lord is against those who do evil, to cut off the remembrance of them from the earth. This is a sobering reminder that God is not indifferent to sin. He is a just God, and He will not tolerate evil. But for those who are righteous, for those who seek Him, He is a loving, attentive Father. Every morning when you come before God in humility and reverence, you are positioning yourself on the side of His favor. You are choosing to live in alignment with His will, and that brings His blessing into your life. David then declares, the righteous cry out, and the Lord hears and delivers them out of all their troubles. This is a promise you can hold on to every day. The righteous, those who seek God and live according to His ways, are never abandoned in their times of trouble. When they cry out, the Lord not only listens but also delivers them. This is an unshakable truth you can lean on. Every morning when you wake up and offer your prayer, understand that God is ready to step into your situation. He's not just watching from a distance. He's actively involved, orchestrating deliverance for you. David understood this because he lived it. He faced countless trials, from the threat of enemies to personal failures, yet he always found deliverance when he turned to God. And the same God who delivered David will deliver you. It might not always happen in the way or timing you expect, but God is faithful to His word. He will not let His righteous ones be consumed by their troubles. David continues to paint a picture of God's compassion by stating, the Lord is near to those who have a broken heart and save, such as have a contrite spirit. There is something profoundly powerful about brokenness. In the eyes of the world, brokenness is seen as weakness, as something to be avoided. But in the kingdom of God, brokenness is the doorway to His presence. When your heart is broken, when you are humbled by the weight of life's trials, that's when God draws near to you in a special way. He doesn't reject the brokenhearted, He embraces them. If you're waking up in the morning feeling crushed by the burdens you carry, know this: God is closer to you than you realize. Your brokenness isn't a barrier to His love. It's an invitation for His grace to work powerfully in your life. When you approach your day with this understanding, you can rest in the comfort that God's presence is with you in the midst of your pain. This nearness of God to the brokenhearted is a testimony to His mercy. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, David tells us. This is a reality we must accept. Walking with God doesn't exempt us from difficulties. In fact, the righteous often face many troubles precisely because of their commitment to God. But the promise remains, God delivers them from them all. Every single one. Not some, not most. Every affliction is met with God's delivering hand. It's easy to get discouraged when you're facing one trial after another. But when you declare this truth in your morning prayer, you're reminding yourself of God's faithfulness. He is a God who delivers not occasionally, but consistently. He is faithful in all things. The scripture tells us that He guards all His bones, not one of them is broken. This is a vivid image of God's protection over His people. Just as a shepherd watches over his sheep, ensuring that not even a bone is broken, so God watches over you. This protection doesn't mean that you won't face hardship, but it does mean that in the midst of whatever comes your way, God's hand is upon you. He is your shield, your refuge, your strength. When you rise in the morning and begin your day, you can trust that God's protective presence is with you. No harm can come to you that hasn't first passed through His sovereign will. And even in the most difficult moments, when it feels like everything is falling apart, you can hold on to the assurance that God is guarding you. David contrasts this protection of the righteous with the fate of the wicked. Evil shall slay the wicked, and those who hate the righteous shall be condemned. There is a divine justice at work in the world, and while it may not always be visible in the short term, God will ultimately bring judgment on those who persist in wickedness. This isn't something to rejoice in, but rather a sobering reminder that God's justice is real. For the righteous, this is a comfort, because it means that no matter how powerful or successful the wicked may seem in this life, their end is destruction. Their hatred of the righteous, their evil deeds, will ultimately lead to their downfall. But for you, as one who seeks God, there is the promise of deliverance and protection. God's justice is your assurance that evil will not have the final word in your life. The Lord redeems the soul of His servants, and none of those who trust in Him shall be condemned. This is the final declaration of hope in Psalm 34. To redeem means to buy back, to rescue, to restore. God is in the business of redemption. He doesn't just deliver you from trouble, He redeems your soul. He takes what is broken, what has been lost, and He restores it. Every morning when you come before God, you can trust that He is working redemption in your life. He is restoring what has been taken from you. He is healing what has been broken. He is bringing life where there was death. This redemption is not something you have to earn or strive for. It is the free gift of God to those who trust in Him. And because of this, you will never be condemned. When you trust in God, you are secure. The enemy cannot accuse you. Your past mistakes cannot define you. The condemnation that you may feel, whether from others or from your own heart, has no power over you, because you are redeemed by God. This is the foundation you can build your life upon. The truth you can wake up to every morning: you are redeemed, and because of that you are free. You are free to live the life God has called you to live, free to walk in His purposes, free to experience His joy and peace. This freedom in Christ is not just a theoretical concept, it is a lived reality. Every morning as you wake up and turn your heart toward God, you are stepping into the freedom that He has purchased for you. This freedom means that you are no longer a slave to fear, doubt, or sin. It means that you are no longer defined by your past or limited by your circumstances. In Christ, you are a new creation. The old has passed away and the new has come. And this newness of life is something you can experience every single day. Psalm 34 invites you into a deeper relationship with God, one that is marked by trust, reverence, and gratitude. It is a call to start each day with a heart that seeks after God, a heart that is open to His leading, His correction, and His provision. When you make this your morning prayer, you are positioning yourself to experience the fullness of life that God has for you. You are aligning your heart with His, allowing Him to shape your thoughts, your words, and your actions. This is the essence of what it means to live a life that honors God. The more you meditate on Psalm 34, the more you realize that it is not just a prayer for protection or deliverance, but a roadmap for living in the presence of God. It teaches you how to approach life with a heart that is fully surrendered to Him, how to navigate the challenges of life with the confidence that comes from knowing that God is on your side. It reminds you that even in the midst of difficulties, God's goodness is still present. And when you wake up each morning and declare these truths over your life, you are setting the course for a day that is filled with His presence, His power, and His peace. God's faithfulness is woven throughout every verse of Psalm 34. From the very beginning, David is telling us that God is a God who hears, who delivers, who protects, who redeems. These are not just nice ideas, they are the very foundation of your faith. And every morning when you wake up and remind yourself of these truths, you are strengthening your faith. You are reminding yourself of who God is and what He has promised to do in your life. This is why morning prayer is so powerful. It is not just a ritual or a routine, it is a declaration of faith. It is a way of aligning your heart with God's heart and allowing His truth to guide you through the day. David's words in Psalm 34 are a reminder that the life of faith is not without its challenges. There will be moments of fear, moments of doubt, moments when you wonder if God is really listening. But in those moments, you can turn to Psalm 34 and be reminded that God is always near. He is near to the brokenhearted. He is near to those who cry out to Him. And He is near to those who trust in Him. No matter what you are facing, you can trust that God is with you. He has not abandoned you, and He never will. His faithfulness endures forever, and His love for you is unchanging. In the quiet moments of the morning, when you are alone with God, you have the opportunity to experience His presence in a profound way. It is in these moments that you can pour out your heart to Him, knowing that He hears you. You can bring your fears, your worries, your hopes, and your dreams to Him, and He will meet you there. He will speak to your heart, guide your steps, and give you the strength you need to face whatever the day may bring. David's invitation to taste and see that the Lord is good is an invitation to experience God in a personal and intimate way. It is an invitation to move beyond the surface level understanding of who God is and to dive deeper into the reality of His goodness. When you make this your morning prayer, you are not just speaking words, you are inviting God to reveal Himself to you in a fresh and powerful way. You are opening your heart to His love, His mercy, and His grace. As you go through your day, let the words of Psalm 34 echo in your heart. Let them be a constant reminder of God's presence, His protection, and His provision. When fear tries to creep in, remember that God has delivered you from all your fears. When trouble arises, remember that God is your refuge and strength. When you feel weak, remember that God is near to the brokenhearted. And when you feel lost, remember that God redeems the soul of His servants. These truths are not just for the morning, they are for every moment of your life. God's goodness is not limited to certain times or certain people. It is available to everyone who seeks Him. God's goodness is for those who draw near to Him with a heart full of trust and humility. Each morning as you wake up and enter into prayer, you are actively inviting that goodness into your life. It's more than just reciting words, it's an act of faith, a proclamation that you believe in the God who is faithful to His promises. The more you align your life with His word, the more you will experience His goodness in every area. This is what David invites us to when he says, taste and see that the Lord is good. It's an invitation to step beyond mere belief into a deeper encounter with the living God. When you taste something, it's personal. It's an experience that cannot be explained by another. You have to experience it for yourself. And once you've tasted God's goodness, it transforms everything. David's testimony in Psalm 34 isn't just his personal experience, it's an open door for anyone who desires to walk with God. He offers his life as proof that God is faithful, that He listens to those who earnestly seek Him. And so when you rise in the morning and begin your day with a prayer based on this psalm, you are doing more than just reciting scripture, you are stepping into a promise. You are making a declaration over your day that God's goodness, His protection, His deliverance, and His redemption will be present in every moment. When David says, "The eyes of the Lord are on the righteous and his ears are open to their cry," he is speaking from the experience of someone who has been in desperate need and has seen God move on his behalf. The righteous are those who, in spite of their imperfections, seek after God's heart. They are the ones who hunger for his presence and who make him their priority. It's not about living a perfect life, it's about living a life of pursuit. Every morning when you pray, you are aligning yourself with the path of the righteous. You are choosing to walk in a way that opens the door for God to be attentive to your needs. This attentiveness of God is not passive. His eyes are not just watching over you as an observer, they are watching as a protector, as a guide. His ears are not just hearing your prayers in a general sense, they are attuned to the deepest cries of your heart. When you wake up and speak to God, He listens. And not just in a distant, detached way, but in a way that moves Him to action. This is the God you serve, a God who is intimately involved in the details of your life, who is moved by your prayers, and who delights in responding to the cries of your heart. When you understand this, your morning prayer becomes more than just a habit or a duty. It becomes the most important moment of your day. It becomes the time when you align your spirit with the God who holds your day in His hands. It becomes the time when you surrender your plans, your worries, your fears, and your desires to the one who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that you could ask or think. This is the power of beginning your day with prayer. It sets the course for everything that follows. It aligns your heart with God's will and invites His presence into every aspect of your life. David knew the importance of starting his day with prayer. And that's why his Psalms are filled with morning declarations of God's faithfulness. He didn't wait until trouble came to cry out to God. He began his day by acknowledging God's sovereignty and goodness. And because of that, when trouble did come, he was already prepared. He had already built a foundation of trust and intimacy with God that sustained him through every trial. You too can build this foundation in your life. Every morning as you rise and seek God's face, you are strengthening your relationship with Him. You are building a foundation of faith that will carry you through whatever challenges come your way. And as you do this, you will begin to see the promises of Psalm 34 come to pass in your life. You will experience God's deliverance, His protection, His redemption, and His peace. David says, "I sought the Lord and He heard me and delivered me from all my fears." This is not just a one-time event, it is a continual process. Each day as you seek God, He is delivering you. He is removing fear from your heart and replacing it with faith. He is taking the burdens that weigh you down and replacing them with His peace. This is the exchange that happens when you come before God in prayer. You bring your fears, your worries, your anxieties, and He gives you His peace, His strength, His comfort. But this doesn't happen automatically. It requires you to come before Him with a heart of humility and dependence. It requires you to acknowledge your need for Him. When David says, "This poor man cried, and the Lord heard him and saved him out of all his troubles," he is acknowledging his own neediness before God. He isn't coming to God from a place of strength, but from a place of weakness. And that's where God meets him. It's in our weakness that God's strength is made perfect. It's in our need that His provision is most clearly seen. This is why it's so important to start your day with prayer. When you do, you are acknowledging your dependence on God. You are saying, "Lord, I cannot do this on my own. I need You. I need Your strength, Your wisdom, Your guidance." And when you come to God with that heart of humility, He meets you. He strengthens you. He gives you what you need for the day ahead. David also reminds us that the angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear Him and delivers them. This is a powerful image of God's protection. When you live in reverence and awe of God, you are surrounded by His presence. His angels are literally encamped around you, guarding you from the enemy's attacks. This is why you don't have to fear what the day may bring. No matter what challenges or obstacles you face, you are surrounded by God's protection. His angels are with you and they will deliver you from every scheme of the enemy. This doesn't mean that you won't face challenges, but it does mean that you don't have to face them alone. God's presence goes with you wherever you go. His angels are guarding you. His Spirit is guiding you, and His peace is sustaining you. This is the reality that you can walk in every day when you start your day with prayer. You are not walking through life on your own. You are walking with the God of the universe by your side. David says, "Oh, fear the Lord, you His saints." There is no want to those who fear Him when you live in reverence of God. When you make Him the priority in your life, you lack nothing. This doesn't mean that you will always have everything you want, but it does mean that God will provide everything you need. He is your provider, your sustainer, your source. When you start your day by acknowledging His sovereignty and seeking His will, you are placing yourself under His provision. And under His provision there is no lack. Even the young lions, David says, may suffer hunger, but those who seek the Lord shall not lack any good thing. This is a promise you can hold on to every morning. No matter what your circumstances look like, no matter what needs you may have, you can trust that God will provide. He is the God who feeds the birds of the air and clothes the lilies of the field. How much more will He take care of you, His beloved child? When you seek Him first, when you make Him your priority, He will meet every need. David continues by saying, "Come, you children, listen to me. I will teach you the fear of the Lord." This is an invitation to learn what it means to live in awe and reverence of God. It's not just about fearing His power or judgment. It's about recognizing His greatness, His majesty, His holiness, and responding with a life of worship and obedience. When you wake up each morning and offer your day to God in prayer, you are practicing the fear of the Lord. You are acknowledging that He is the one who holds your life in His hands, that He is the one who directs your steps, and that He is the one who deserves your trust and devotion. David then asks, "Who is the man who desires life and loves many days, that he may see good?" The answer to this question lies in the following verses. "Keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking deceit. Depart from evil and do good, seek peace and pursue it." These are the principles that lead to a life of blessing. When you start your day with prayer, you are committing yourself to living in a way that honors God. You are asking Him to guard your words, to help you speak truth, to keep you from evil, and to guide you in the path of peace. This is the kind of life that brings God's favor and blessing. Living this way is not always easy, especially in a world that is often hostile to the ways of God. But when you make it a habit to begin your day in prayer, you are giving God the opportunity to shape your heart and your actions. You are inviting Him to guide your steps and to empower you to live according to His ways. And as you do this, you will begin to see the fruit of His presence in your life. You will experience His peace, His joy, and His provision in ways that you never thought possible. David's words in Psalm 34 remind us that the path to a blessed life is not one of ease or comfort, but one of righteousness and obedience. It's a path that requires us to depend on God, to trust Him even when things don't make sense, and to seek His will above our own. And when you make this your morning prayer, you are positioning yourself to walk in the fullness of God's promises. The Lord is near to those who have a broken heart and save such as have a contrite spirit. There is a special closeness that God offers to those who are humble before Him. When you come to God in your morning prayer, don't come with pride or self-sufficiency. Come with a heart that recognizes its need for God. Come with a spirit that is willing to be shaped, molded, and led by Him. As we conclude our exploration of Psalm 34 and the power of morning prayer, let us remember that God is ever present, ready to deliver us from our fears and troubles. When we seek Him earnestly, His goodness and mercy surround us, transforming our lives with His peace and strength. May your mornings be filled with a deep desire to know Him more, to taste His goodness, and to experience His blessings in abundance. Thank you for joining me on this journey of faith. May you walk boldly in the assurance that the Lord is near to the brokenhearted and that He will provide for all your needs. May God bless you abundantly today and always.